right, change of pace back home. Is small business being ignored by all levels of government? So many people are hurting out there, but is anyone listening? Joining me now is Amanda Rose, founder of Small Business Women Australia, the boss lady herself. What do you think?
Is anyone listening is a very good point. I don't think government's listening to small business at all. I'm being contacted on a regular basis. So they're bringing in issues like the, Future Fund, which kind of gives a nationalist approach, saying that we want to do things in our country and be global leaders, when really what it is, it's dictating where taxpayer money will go via tenders. And large companies can get that. So we're talking, net zero type activities and advanced manufacturing, which is robotics. This eliminates so many entrepreneurs and small businesses who could, for example, be in construction, trades, or a completely different industry. So it's being too biased towards particular industries that the government supports. It needs to, as a government, represent all people and encourage the economy to grow in all areas.
One of the things that should be at the forefront of people's minds that are making decisions about small business is that you don't have to go too far back to see COVID, and the people that got affected most, even in retail, look at retail, was the small business, because some of the bigger organisations were remaining open. Small businesses had to shut their doors. That's
right. So they were pretty much given access. So large supermarkets, for example, they could stay open. The small businesses shut down, but then that market share was taken. So to get back that market share for a small business is very difficult. So they've come back, and now they've got cost of living, and now they've got their own government saying, unless you do what we say and change your business to focus on the industries we want, our ideology essentially, then you won't get any funds or any assistance with your entrepreneur journey, which is really unfair. And what will happen is that we'll see, as per usual, a shutdown of small businesses, entrepreneurs giving up, which means unemployment. And it's the same thing over and over again. And people are screaming, literally small businesses are saying, why isn't government listening? And I think by the time they listen, it'll be too late.
Wonderful to see people marching yesterday and today on this subject of domestic violence. It's horrendous. It's a blight on who we are. Attorney General Mark Dreyfus has ruled out a Royal Commission into domestic violence. He argues the government will instead push for policies which will tackle the issue.
Pieces of paper don't do anything.
Do you want to see a Royal Commission?
I would love to see one, but I'd like it to be broader. So I want it to be on violence in general, because we need to look at the justice system. We need to look at why people are let out on bail repeatedly and then escalate their behaviour. Because if you ask any psychologist, people do escalate, right? They want revenge for someone who put them into, called the police on them. We need to look at training up the police force to articulate, to understand, is someone telling the truth when they're saying my husband's trying to kill me or my boyfriend's stalking me, right? We need to take it more seriously. And what's annoying is that only now are they taking it seriously, because, people got murdered, right, in a shopping centre. So now it's like, oh, there's a problem with violence against women. It's been like this for a very long time. AVOs are not worth the paper that they're written on. Women are being stalked in many different ways. So it's the accountability. The perpetrator needs to be held accountable, and the mechanisms and the systems in place, which is the police, government, so forth, they need a review of all of that. What's working, what's not, and fix it. A policy's not going to do that. How
important is education at every level?
Very. And I think, a lot of people come to me, a lot of psychologists and so forth, say, Amanda, I'd love to see that we educate people on what is the right behaviour and what is the wrong behaviour, right? For everyone, male and female, just in society, to say this is how you treat people. And we've lost that. We've lost that, don't speak to someone like that. And we've also need to have more leaders, right, speak up and say, that's the wrong behaviour. In a meeting, in a friendship group, don't speak to her like that. Don't speak to him like that. Whatever it is, we need people in microgroups, in Parliament, everywhere to say, that's actually wrong. Don't do that. And then if someone in a leadership position or a friend says it, someone will listen, and then someone else will say it. But we've stopped that. We're too scared to say anything.
You can't downplay that, can you? Because when we were all growing up, our parents and grandparents, that whole idea of being taught to be a good person, there's so much aggression, so much hatred, still so much bullying. And it's not necessarily the people that have streets and parks and monuments named after them. We see that in history and around the world that are those good people.
That's right. We just need simple of don't Don't do that. That's poor form, right? Because they might not have been raised right. They might not have been given an exam. So give people the benefit of the doubt and say, hey, buddy, or hey, don't do that, don't speak like that. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. But if you just stay silent, not my problem, then we're going to not my problem into a huge problem, right?
Some of the best people live and die and no one ever knows their story, do they?
That's right. And I think that's the thing we should be doing because it's the right thing to do, not because we want glory for it.
Yeah, good point. You speak a lot of sense, you do. Now, all right, our business tip of the week.
Yes.
We've got on the front foot today and I like it. What's the business tip of the week?
Don't be scared of online. With all this online fear tactics out there with cyber and so forth,
It's so helpful.
Get your business online. Go on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever it is. You know, you don't need massive following. You just need the right following. Engage with your community online. If not, you could be missing out. Whether you're a local cafe, an accountant, engage with people. Let people know who you are, what you do, get your personality out there. Don't avoid going online because you're worried that someone might say something negative or the government's scaring you with this whole cyber attack stuff.
Yeah, and educate yourself. I say it to people, they go, oh, social media, it scares me. Well,
it's
understand it, use it.
Yeah, and
Use it
remember, if you don't like what's posted, you can delete it.
it's your newspaper.
That's right.
And you can block people.
Yeah,
if
I
you
do
wish.
that every day.
I've blocked a couple over the course of time.
Yeah.
Good to talk to you.
Likewise.
Do it again next week?
Yes.
All right.